Hey, this is Steve with Dabble, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to access a user's time zone, distance, and temperature settings in a custom Alexa skill. And we're going to do that using a template from dabblelab.com. So if you're not watching this video on dabblelab.com, head to dabblelab.com and go to the templates menu. And in the template list, look for template number 11, which is this Alexa Settings API skill template. And we're going to download the source code for that. So click on that. You will need to log in to download the source code, but if you don't have an account, you can create one by clicking the Need an Account link down there. And the accounts are free, no credit card required or anything like that. And when you're logged in, you'll get access to the template details, and the template details page provides a tutorial for each one of the templates, and that's what you're watching right now, along with a button to download the source code. And then we've just added this section down here where you can add comments or ask questions if you run into any issues or want to provide feedback along the way. So we're going to start by downloading the source code, and it will download as a zip file. So once it's done downloading, you want to unzip it, and all of the source code will be in a folder named the same name as the template. And you can use this either with the ASK CLI, the Alexa Skills Kit command line interface. And if you know what I'm talking about and you use the CLI, you would just move into this folder and then use the CLI commands to deploy the template, so ask deploy. If you're not familiar with the CLI, we've also updated the templates now where you can use them with the Alexa hosted skills, or most of the templates anyhow. And that's what we're going to do today. So the thing that we're going to do next is set up a hosted skill, and then we'll come back to this and get the code that we need to make it all work. So you want to head over to developer.amazon.com, and then here you want to log in. If you don't have an account, you want to go ahead and create one. The Amazon developer accounts are free also, and no credit card required, along with using the hosted skills. That's all free too, which is nice. So once you're logged in, we want to head over to the Alexa developer console. And so you can get there a couple of different ways, but if you find yourself on a page like this, you can go to the menu in the upper right and then go down to the Alexa developer console. And you want to be on a page that looks something like this. If you have skills that you've already created, you'd see those listed here. If not, it'll look like this one. And then we're going to create a new skill. So click the create skill button, and we'll call this demo skill. And it's a custom skill, which is the default, but we want to change the hosting method to Alexa hosted skills, from provision your own to Alexa hosted skills, and for Node.js, because this template is a Node.js template that we're going to be working with. Then we want to just come back up here and click the create skill button to start creating the Alexa hosted skill. And this takes about a minute. It provisions the backend for the Lambda service and all that. You don't need an AWS account or anything. That is all part of the Alexa hosted skills, but it does take a minute. So while that's happening, let's go back over here and talk about the source code that we downloaded as part of that template. So we're going to need a few things for this template to work. We're going to need the interaction model, which is this in the models folder, this en-us.json file. We're also going to need this index.js file in the Lambda custom folder. And then this one uses some third-party modules, some NPM modules. And so we're also going to need this package.json file. So we'll start with this, the interaction model, the hosted skills ready to go now. So we want to go back to the developer console, and then we want to go to this JSON editor here. And then you can drag and drop the interaction model right here. Or you can copy and paste this also, that would work. Just like that. And the interaction model, the invocation name is template 11. Of course, if you were going to use this for the base of a skill that you plan to publish, you would want to change that to an invocation name that made sense for your skill. So this is the name that the users use to launch the skill. Save the interaction model and then build it. This will take a minute. And while that's building, let's go grab the code for the index.js file. So we'll come back over to the code that we downloaded, and we're going to open index.js up in a text editor. You could use like TextEdit or Notepad or your favorite code editor. I'm going to use Visual Studio Code, and you want to select all of the code in that file and then copy it, and then head back over to the developer console and go to the code editor in the developer console. And you can get there by clicking the code menu option. And we're going to replace all of the code in the index.js file, which is the file that's open by default. So you want to select all of it, and then you want to paste over with the code from the template. There we go. And like I mentioned, there are a couple external modules that are being used, this moment and moment-timezone. So we'll save this, but before we deploy it, we also need to update the package.json file, this here. So we want to open that up and then go back to the template code and find that package.json and do the same thing. We're going to open that up with our text editor and copy all of it, select all of it, copy it, go back over to the developer console and select all of the code in package.json, and then paste in the code from the template, paste over it. So like that, and then we'll save that. And then we're going to deploy this. This is going to take a minute to deploy, maybe a couple of minutes, because it's got to pull the npm modules. So it's going to take a little bit longer than normal. So while that's happening, we'll go talk through what's going on in this template. And so this template is a template for illustrating how to get access to a user's time zone, distance, and temperature settings. So the launch request is going to prompt you to say time zone, distance, or temperature. And then if you go to each of the respective handlers, intent handlers for those, which are these three here, you'll see that you'll see how those are working. And each one of them is going to respond with the settings that the user has set for their time zone, for their distance, the units that are used for distance, and then the unit settings for temperature. And this will provide you with some example code that you can use if you need to incorporate that, or you're wanting to learn how to do that in your own skills. All right, it looks like this is deployed now, so we can go ahead and test it out. So we'll head over to the test. Let's see. We really don't need to save that. But go over to the test menu and enable testing for development, and we'll invoke the skill with its invocation name, which is template 11, like that.
Say time zone, distance, or temperature to hear your Alexa settings.
And we'll say time zone.
Your time zone is America/New_York. Your local time is 12:05 p.m. Good afternoon.
And we have like a little function in there that's just saying good afternoon, good morning, and good night. We'll try another one.
Say time zone, distance, or temperature to hear your Alexa settings.
So distance this time.
It looks like you don't have distance measurement unit set. You can set it from the companion app.
Okay, so that's what you get if the distance is not set. And in the companion app, if we go to, there's a web version of this. And this isn't going to work in the simulator, so this would need to test this, you'd need to actually test it with a device, but you would go to the device settings, and I believe it's in here, yeah. So you would toggle on the units and the distance in the device settings. So I think in the test simulator here, you're going to get it's not set for just within here, so you will need a device to test this out, but we'll just try.
Say time zone, distance, or temperature to hear your Alexa settings. It looks like you don't have temperature measurement unit set. You can set it from the companion app.
Let me try it with an actual device and we'll see how that works. Open template 11.
Say, time zone, distance, or temperature to hear your Alexa settings.
Distance.
Your distance measurement unit is metric.
All right. Open template 11.
Say, time zone, distance, or temperature to hear your Alexa settings.
Temperature.
Your temperature measurement unit is Celsius.
Okay, so you can see when I'm using an actual device, I get that information back. So that is it for this template walkthrough. Hopefully that was helpful. If you have any comments or questions, you can leave those again over under the tutorial video for this template here, and we'll respond just as quickly as possible. And thanks so much for watching.